Empaths, melanin, and mental health. Today, I'm going to share with you a post that was shared on the Melanin and Mental Health platform. They are a resource center for us to be able to find what we need in our community, whether it's therapists, counselors, psychologists, psychotherapists, links of information that has to do with mental health. And they are Eliza Boquin, who is a sex therapist, and Ebony Harris, who is a relationship therapist. These two women have come together and created this platform, Melanin and Mental Health. So you know that in the description box below, you will find the links as to where you can find them. And I'm going to share with you a poll and a post that they shared with us regarding racist stuff that the therapist said, as well as micro and macroaggressions experienced in the therapy room. And they also asked what was the difference with thereafter experiencing a therapist that looks like us. So the poll starts and it asks, have you experienced racism in a therapy room? So 42% said yes, 58% said no. Now, we're going to start with racist stuff my therapist said about, and the response to that. So I changed my hair, and she stated that this was a reason for her to consider a bipolar disorder. The next thing was that I was taking over the session and not allowing her to speak and do her job. The next was, said she understood my racial trauma because she went to elementary school with minorities. The next one is that because I'm only 22% African, being called the N-word shouldn't offend me. Now we're moving forward to the micro and macroaggressions of what it's like to be in therapy and experience those kinds of aggressions, like lack of eye contact was one response. The other person says the frustration of having to explain that I cannot simply follow the American culture. A white woman called me a strong black woman when I told her I could not keep living. The next one is my son's father died to gun violence, and her response was he in a gang? The next one is from a therapist actually, and she or he says, I have been asked if I was adopted because of my competency and my vernacular. The next one is, how long have you had a delusion that a panic attack will get you shot by the police? Now, I want us to really get that. The therapist is saying, how long have you had the delusion, as though what the person in front of her is saying did not really happen. That's a form of gaslighting. So again, how long have you had the delusion that your panic attack would get you shot by police? We're going to revisit that. Another one is, I'm black and went to a black therapist for anxiety, and her response is, why don't you just pray about it? Then it goes, not getting the cultural context, everything to her was abuse. Another person says that my Mexican immigrant mom wanted an American woman experience. The next one is, the white lady said Hispanic men that are clean are hard to find. Okay, so now we're moving forward to, how did having a black therapist change your therapy experience? One person said less explaining. I didn't feel obligated to explain every little thing about my religion or my culture. And then I felt understood, validated, and challenged in a healthy, productive way. I don't have to explain or defend my upbringing because she gets the cultural context. It was very relatable each time. Changed everything. I'm in a healthy place because of my black therapist. It kept me from feeling like I had to second guess my treatment. Made me feel comfortable talking about everyday issues of passive racism. I feel more validated and safe than I ever have. So this is just some of the answers and responses to the posts that they shared on melanin and mental health. And the reason why I wanted to share this was for those who are watching to understand that you are not alone, I am not alone. And remember that how I started my channel to begin with was because of misdiagnosis, and was because a lot of the similarities that were expressed by other people here, I actually experienced. Because remember, I shared that I had a white assessor and I had a black therapist who in turn was different experiences. And there were different experiences because the black therapist already understood what I was talking about from having lived and from living in the same black culture context as I. So there's a lot less of having to reach and to explain and have to go over. I could just get straight to the point of what I'm there for, how I got to be here, and expressing the actual events of what I experienced, and not having it swept under the rug or being delineated as well, these are just your bipolar symptoms. Of course, you're going to have anxiety and panic attacks because you're just not taking this medication. You're being stubborn and you are not being cooperative to the system. Now, this is how you, when you start to feel these things, recognize that you can take into account what these diagnosis, mixed diagnosis, prognoses are. You go and do your research and you do the weighing of the pros and the cons. You match side by side what all the symptoms are in comparison to whether you're just having a post-traumatic stress as a result of living in a society that is extremely contentious and full of gaslighting and full of at every single turn, your experience is being denigrated to not having occurred. So if you're interested in finding resources in your city, in your community, go and check out MeLaNiNandMentalHealth.com, and they are all over social media, so you can follow them and get informed in any which way that you choose to do so. So for those that are interested, subscribe, like, share, and comment. I'd appreciate that you are here, and I appreciate all of the ways that I was able to connect with a few of you that were willing to reach out to say, embrace your nature. It has the roots to heal you.